This is another Ignition GT first. Very excited.
Yes, we're driving a Proton for the very first time on the show.
Yeah. Which one?
Well, it's called the Saga, which is quite an interesting name, interesting story behind it. There was a competition to name the car, and the guy that named
they won
it,
with Saga. Okay.
the guy that named it said he called it a Saga because there's a seed in Malaysia, apparently a very oily seed that's very strong, called the Saga. And actually the advertising slogan they used for the Saga, because of its 1.3 engine, was solid like the Saga seed.
No, I'm thinking Saga like in a really long story saga.
Well, actually, it is quite a long story because the Saga's been around since 1985.
That is quite impressive. But here in South Africa, it's the first time we're seeing it, even though it was launched in 2008.
This version, yes.
I've got the keys, and I really think this Proton Saga really suits you.
Well, I'd like to say I'm really looking forward to driving our first Proton, but I'd be lying, so I think you can drive.
I don't know if she's trying to say that maybe I'll just lie with more conviction. I'll drive. So all the hype has been around the super strong 1.3 Saga engine, and it's impressive, eh? 70 kilowatts, 120 newton meters of torque. That's plenty of wheelie for 1300. I think it puts itself into like a 1500, almost 1600 category.
It does. It's more than you expect. Pity about the gear change.
No, but I know, when I got in, it's kind of, you can throw it into any gear really, because it is quite vague, but let's put it into perspective. Drove the Cherry J1. Any vehicle that's priced in that 120 entry-level vehicle is going to have a vague feel of the box.
Yeah, but you can't really compare it to the J1 because it's not really in the same...
No, that's a hatch.
Class, yeah. It's more like Renault Logan, Toyota Yaris Saloon, Tata Indica. And that's why we really wanted to do a shootout, because you want to compare them and see what they've got.
Yeah, I guess the shootout would have been ideal, but couldn't get hold of all of these cars at the same time. Must be super popular. Where to do it on paper?
Yeah.
I want to start positive on Proton, because I think for me, I was just blown away by space. In terms of the boot, really impressive. And even putting in driving position, there's plenty of space in the back for passengers.
And it's got height adjustable seats, which is quite impressive.
They've really spec'd them fairly well, but I just find myself questioning some of the specs they've put on the car.
Yeah, for instance, you get electric adjustable wing mirrors, but you don't get ABS.
Well,
and
even more bizarre, you get park distance control. I don't care who's coming behind me, I want to be able to stop for what's in front of me.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a real concern. If you look at the Logan, comes with ABS, comes with airbag. Sure, this has got airbag as well, but for me, I'd rather prevent the accident than have a bag in an accident.
Maybe that just shows that actually in this market, the consumer just assumes that that kind of thing is there. They assume that they're going to get ABS. It should be standard. I mean, it's silly.
Yeah, but then I guess the consumers are kind of buying because it's such a tight category and money is an issue. They're buying for spec value. So you're going to go, wow, PDC, fog lights, alloy wheels. The Saga is well spec'd, it really is, but that for me I just can't accept.
Aside from the spec problem, we've also had some niggles in actually driving the car, which at 800 k's on a car is unacceptable.
I do also have some issues with the key. Normally you can obviously open your car from across the parking lot. Maybe the Proton is like more for, I'm driving a Proton, let me open this thing quickly, because literally as you get to the car, only then does the remote work. So
absolutely. Plus we had the problem with the air vents.
You can explain that.
Where I like it blowing on my feet, and it doesn't actually blow out on your feet. And you discovered through playing around with it that actually when you put it on the feet, it blows out at the top.
And when you put it out the top, it blows out on the feet. I mean, even at 120,000 Rand, I mean, these are things that you don't expect to be going wrong this early on in a new car. Well, maybe the real discussion now is about Proton as a brand in South Africa.
Yes, but Proton has been in South Africa for quite a while. I mean, it's not as if they've only just come into the country.
They've got 20 odd something dealerships here as well.
Well, what we need to really do then is speak to Proton owners about the kind of servicing they have, how good their parts are, how often things have gone wrong with their cars. I mean, that's really what we need to find out.
I think they're relying on the fact that obviously part of the Imperial Group, it has got good backing, but in Malaysia, their own government has bailed them out a few times, so that for me is a concern. At 120,000 Rand, great value proposition, but how much value is that money going to be in 6 months?
What sort of trade-in are you going to get on a Proton? And if you keep it for long so that you don't have to trade it in, how many problems are you going to have on the car? I think we really need to speak to Proton owners.
And that's exactly what I did. Stopped in traffic next to a Proton Satria, I queried the owner on their driving experience. They said they loved their Proton. Great service at a reasonable price. Yes, that may be just one person, but we'll keep polling and see what we can come up with after a few owners have given us their feedback.
But it is not all doom and gloom for the Proton Saga.
Indeed. We like the engine, love the engine in fact. We like the space.
The boot is phenomenal, good legroom in the back for passengers.
Yep.
And quite a pleasant drive. It's actually not very noisy. And it drives like any car valued at 120 grand, I think.
However, in this market, 120 grand is 120 grand. It doesn't come with ABS. If that's important to you, definitely go check out the competition.